This is part 9 of Entity Framework tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss overriding stored procedure defaults with Entity Framework Code First approach. This is continuation to part 8, so please watch part 8 before proceeding. We will be modifying the example that we worked with in part 8. So if you recollect from the previous video session, this line of code right here has generated these three stored procedures: employee delete, employee insert, and employee update. Notice the names of the stored procedures. The naming convention that's used by Entity Framework by default is entity name underscore whatever action the stored procedure is going to do. Here, this stored procedure is actually deleting an employee. So employee underscore delete. For insert, it is employee underscore insert, and for update, employee underscore update. Now these are the default names that are automatically generated by the Entity Framework. Now let's say I want to change the name of this stored procedure, for example, employee underscore delete, to be something like delete employee. Is that possible? Absolutely. And the way we do that is by using this map to stored procedures method. And notice that here we are using the lambda expression and we are invoking the insert method. And then here we are specifying the name that we want. Okay, so we want the stored procedure to be insert employee, and that's what we have specified here. And then we are calling map to stored procedures method again, and then using another lambda expression here and invoking the update method and specifying the name of the update stored procedure, and the same thing for delete. Okay, so if you notice here we are calling map to stored procedures method 3 times. So this code will generate the stored procedures, as you can see here. Now this same code can also be rewritten like this. So this code right here is more concise. Okay, so here notice what we are doing. We're actually chaining insert, update, and delete methods. Okay, and we are calling map to stored procedures method just once. Okay, so either this code or this code is going to produce the same thing, the 3 stored procedures with the custom names that we have specified. And another thing that you notice, if you look at these stored procedures, all of them has got parameters, and look at the names of the parameters. These are the default parameter names that Entity Framework is using. By default, the naming convention for the parameters is, it takes out the property of the entity and then simply prefix an @ symbol before that. So employee entity has got an ID property, and if we want to delete an employee entity, we just need the ID parameter. So it's just using one parameter here by simply prefixing the @ symbol. If you look at update stored procedure, so update stored procedure has got all the properties, all the parameters. Notice that employee entity, if you recollect from the previous video session, it has got ID, name, gender, and salary properties, and the parameters are simply prefixed with an @ symbol. So these are the default names that Entity Framework uses for the stored procedure parameters. Now, is there a way to change them? Absolutely. And the way we do that is by using the dot parameter function. So here, look at this line right here is going to change the name of the insert stored procedure to insert employee, and then dot parameter. So we are calling the parameter function, and here we are saying, okay, to name property of the employee entity, use this as the name of the stored procedure parameter, employee name. Similarly for gender, employee gender, and for salary, employee salary. And these 3 parameters right here are for insert employee stored procedure, and these are for update employee, and this parameter is for delete employee stored procedure. So this piece of code right here is going to change both the names of the stored procedures as well as the names of their respective parameters. Okay, and to speed things up, I have already typed this code in the notepad, so let's copy that and paste it within this on model creating. So instead of this line right here, let's paste this piece of code and let's format this. So we are invoking map to stored procedures method, and then using a lambda expression we are invoking the insert method, and this chained dot parameter method calls are going to change the parameter names of the stored procedure, and this will change the name of the stored procedure itself. The same logic applies for update employee and delete employee. So let's go ahead and run our project. But before we do that, let's actually drop the sample database that we already have. And then let's go ahead and run our web form. So this should generate the sample database, create the employees table, and also the 3 stored procedures with the names that we have specified, and the parameter names should also be whatever we have specified. Okay, so obviously at the moment it has generated a brand new sample database. So let's go ahead and refresh that. So we have the sample database there, have the employees table, and if we expand programmability and then stored procedures, look at the names of the stored procedures now: insert employee, update employee, and delete employee. And if we look at, for example, update employee and then parameters, look at that, they are now employee ID, employee name, employee gender, and employee salary, the names that we have given it. Okay, and if you look at this web form, it is not displaying any data. That's basically because the table is empty. So let's actually go ahead and execute this insert script. So we have sample data there. So let's reload this page. So notice that we get the data, and let's quickly test this to make sure it still works the same way as before. So the update is working, and let's enter a test employee, and insert is working, and let's try to delete the same employee, and the delete is working as well. So the application is working the same way as before, and you have just seen how to customize the names of the stored procedures and the names of the respective parameters. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.